Good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the Tiger II SLA. This is a somewhat, how do I put this, not a particularly, well, it's still common, but it's not what people think of, I don't think anyway. It's not a tank that people have immediately spring to mind when they think of a tier 3 or tier 4 premium. Most people would think of the T29, which I have reviewed before, same as I've reviewed this thing before. And this thing has kind of been left by the wayside a little bit, in my opinion. It's still fairly common in the matches at 6.7, 5.7 and 7.7 as it gets up tiered and down tiered. But due to the recent black hole that 7.7 has become, this thing seems to get sucked into that black hole and generally ends up fighting in 7.7 games, which is exactly what this is. But this video is going to show you that the up tier can still work in your favour. This tank can still dance regardless. So we're going to be running into quite a few nasty vehicles in this game, and as I said, being a 7.7 match, yeah, an M60, yes, we see one of those. An AMX-30, yes, we see one of those. We see quite a few. So, there's a target over there in the distance. I believe it's an IS-6, but I can't quite get a shot off at him. So instead, I'm going to push up to support this other Tiger II, which has had his engine set on fire, or his transmission, one or the other. And I'm going to angle myself around this rock, so that even if they're firing heat, if they try and hit my frontal plate, it's not going to do any damage. I poke out once they've taken the shot, pull the trigger, take out an Object 906. I do lose some ammunition in the process, but my tank remains mostly unscathed. There's an AMX-30 sat around that corner. He has heat as standard, and he's not going to be firing anything else other than heat because that's the only round he gets, with the exception of HE and smoke. So I'm trying to keep myself as angled as possible. I want to try and get him to fire. He has roughly a 9-second reload if he's got a decent crew, otherwise it's around 10 seconds. So if he fires and I manage to get him to donk the shot, I will be able to poke out, aim, fire, and retreat back into cover. Hopefully. But of course this is subject to change. He's distracted, I poke out, take a shot, ricochet for his upper plate. Fair enough. He may have only 80mm, 79mm of armor on his upper front plate, but not so much on his side. If you're going to throw away every advantage you have, I mean, he's got maneuverability over me, alright, fair enough, but in the time it takes for him to get to me and around me, assuming I don't kill him when he comes around the corner like I did then, in the time it takes for him to get around me, I've reloaded. Next target, M60. Take a punt through the smoke, straight through the front drive wheel, penetrates the ammunition rack, detonates the tank. Good kill, and a very worthwhile kill. Is there anything else? Anybody else feel like they want to party? Nope. So, I'm using smoke to cover my, I say retreat, tactical falling back, or falling back tactically. I have been informed by an enemy, well, a friendly player behind me in a Leopard, that there is something down there, just marked, heavy tank. And I don't really want to turn around, or reverse out of here, despite showing them my best armor. I'm not as fast in reverse as I am going forward, obviously. So I'm going to blanket the area with a smoke screen, and turn around this rock and head back in that direction. That is, of course, if my driving doesn't let me down. And War Thunder's fantastic physics. So let's go and see what we can find over in this direction. I haven't played this tank in a very long time, and it took me a while to get a decent game in it. This was the first quote-unquote decent game I got. But this was an ace game in a 7.7 match. This tank can still cut the mustard. For those of you who aren't British, I imagine you've never heard that saying before, so please forgive me for that. So, we are now around the corner, and there is something down over there by the town. That is quite a big target. Behind the smoke. That's a T-95. That's a Doom Turtle. That guy, I do not want him to hit me. He has a 120mm gun like what's on the M103, and he can punch through my frontal armour. Maybe not so much at this angle, hence why I have angled. But that guy is a massive threat, and I don't really want him hitting me. But I digress. He's been taken out by another player, so we're going to push up around this corner. There was a heavy tank spotted around here, so I'm being somewhat more cautious than I normally would in this situation. I know that my right flank is reasonably free and clear, as there are friendly tanks in the town and to the right of the town where B point would normally be, as well as further to the west, near where the C point would normally be. So I know that I'm fairly safe on that side. And then we have IS-6s that show you the side of their turret. Well, that was a well-needed and deserved kill. So, moving on, we have now pushed up near where the IS-6 was and are coming around behind their spawn. I am not going to spawn camp in this match, but I am going to take out pesky little T-92 light tanks that haven't noticed me. One shot. It's not even a challenge, is it? Really? 7.7s, 6.7s, this 88mm gun can still kick ass. I think if there were any complaints to be made about the 88, it wouldn't be because people genuinely think it's bad. I think it's just because those people have a very tainted view of it, given their, how do I put this politely, their knowledge when it comes to using it. It's not an easy gun to use. You do have to aim for weak spots unless you come across the side or rear of a tank, like I did with the IS-6 and his turret facing sideways to me. It's not a tank that you can just derp a shell straight through the upper frontal plate of something. I perfectly accept that. That's absolutely fine. I know that it's not an easy round or gun to use, but hopefully this video shows us proof that it can be done. So, that's pretty much the end of the match. Let's go to the hangar and see how well we did credit to XP wise. Right, so let's have a look at the results, shall we? First place on the team in a 6.7 tank and an Uptier. Almost 3,500 research for my KPZ. It would have been more, given I'm running a premium account, but because the vehicle is top tier and this is a tier 3 vehicle, I didn't get as much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!